Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today's short lesson is all about using shapes to create flowers. So let's get going with this project. Let's start by opening a new project in Design Space. So for our shapes today, we're going to make one flower, but you could use other shapes. And today we're all going to use a circle in order to do our project. Now it's clicked twice, so I've got two. I will just put one off to the side for now. Let's take this one. Let's make our flower. Come up here to line type and let's make it sort of a gold color. I am going to unlock it and I'm going to stretch it by using this handle over here. Stretch it so it's about 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks pretty good. I want it about a 1/2 inch wide because that's about as wide as I want. Well, since I already have it selected, I can come up here to the size and I can type in 0.5, and that looks pretty good. That's the type of flower I want, so I'm going to click on the lock up here, or I could have clicked it here. So now we have a petal that we're going to work with. So we're going to do this through duplication and welding in order to make our flower. So let's make sure we have this selected. Let's click on duplicate, and I'm going to do it one more time. Oh, I got a couple. I just want a couple of extra pieces to stick over to the side in case I need to have the same shape again. Oh, we got lots here, so for some reason it duplicated a number of times. But let's take this second one, and I'm going to come up here to the rotate. I'm going to go 90 degrees. Then I'm going to highlight both of these, just these two at this time, coming up here to align. And we're going to go horizontal. And we'll click on them again. And of course we're going to go vertical. It looks like it's dead center. I'm just going to check my horizontal again just in case I missed it. No, that looks good. They're perfectly centered. I'm going to come down here in the layers panel at the bottom. I'm going to click on weld. Hey, that looks great. So we have a part of our flower now. So we're going to duplicate this, and I'm going to duplicate it once. That looks pretty good. Now we want them to come down the center, so we want to rotate this 45 degrees. So let's come up to rotate. Let's go 45. And then we're going to do what we did before. We are actually going to align these horizontal. Select them again. Align vertical. Perfectly aligned. Now I'm going to highlight both of them and come back down here. I am going to weld those together. Now we're going to do this one more time. Let's select it. Let's duplicate it. Now I don't want it 45 degrees, but I want it half of 45 degrees. So half of 45 is 22.5. So type in the rotate, 22.5. And that looks pretty good. Let's highlight them both. We're going to align them again, horizontal, and align vertical. Wonderful. Now it looks like we have a pretty good flower. I'm going to come back down here to weld. Now what I want to do is in the background, I want to have a green set exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate. This is the one I want on the top. The one on the bottom, I want it to be green. I'm going to come up here to line type, and I'm going to pick a nice dark green. And if I push this one on top, just get them lined up here for a second. I'm going to line them horizontal and align vertical. Now what I want to do is just take the top one, and I just want to move it around a bit. Now we had 22.5. You would think that, 22.5, I could probably change the rotate to 11.25. Go in there. Looks like it's got both selected. So let's just make sure I only got the yellow one selected here on the layers panel. And let's go take this back to 0 and see what happens. There we go. So now we have the leaves in behind, and this time I'm going to select them both. All I'm going to do here is group them so that they look like a really nice flower. Now you could add a stem to it. Now we already have these that we had in behind, so you could add this as a stem in behind. You could make that one a green as well. So let's go back here, make that stem dark green. Now, what we want to do is weld the stem to the flower. So we have to come over here. We've already selected the stem. We're going to come up here and use the Shift key and the click. We are going to weld those two pieces together. So now we have the stem and the flower on top. So let's take this one. At this point, we're going to arrange it. We are going to send it to the back. And that looks pretty darn good. And that's how you would put a flower together. Now, if you wanted to cut off the bottom so it was a flatter piece, that would be great. You could put a square over top and just slice off the bottom. But this is how you make a flower using shapes. And this one was with the circle, but you could use other shapes in order to make flowers and do the same thing. So I hope you really enjoyed this short lesson. And until next time, happy crafting.